A farewell party is held at an astronaut named Luke's house to celebrate his last day on Earth, as he is going on a mission to Mars with 5 other people, including 2 other men named Sergey and Nicholas, and a woman named Renee. Everyone spends their time with their better halves. Nicholas tries to flirt with a girl, but fails to kiss her. Because he has no riz, Sergey, Renee, Woody, and his wife jokes around. All the while, Luke gets worried why his fellow astronaut Jim is not showing up, but his wife calms him down. Nicholas tries flirting with another girl, which cringes Luke out. Luke then goes to comfort his only son who is already missing him and promises to stay forever when he comes back. Jim finally comes to the party with his fancy car and tells Deb that he didn't want to come, initially thinking he would ruin Luke's night. But Deb assures him that Luke is the only person who wanted him to come the most, so Jim joins everyone. Later, Luke pokes fun at Woody when Woody explains that they would have been going to Mars together if Jim didn't back out. It is revealed that Jim and his wife Maggie were originally supposed to go to Mars with Luke as well, but they had to cancel it because Maggie got sick in the middle of their training and died. Jim gets emotional, so Woody tries to console him before he leaves. Luke also tells Jim that this mission would have been his if only Maggie didn't die. Jim tells Luke that Mars is his to conquer and wishes him farewell. Still, Jim is way too depressed since he has lost his wife and his lifelong dream of going to Mars. The next day, the mission to Mars commences, and nothing out of the ordinary happens in the next 13 months. But then, one day, when Luke and his crew are collecting rocks from a canyon, Renee uses her Mars rover to explore gigantic canyons and discovers a crystalline ice structure that is 20 minutes away from their base. She tells Luke about it, and the crew reports this back to the World Space Station. Luke tells them that if they can truly find ice or water on Mars, it could be the key to make Mars habitable and compatible for human colonization. Right after, Luke and his crew head near the reported structure to see if it's true. The crew hears an eerie noise coming from the mountain, but doesn't give it much thought. Renee brings out the radar, but this time gets a wrong reading that says there's only metal beneath them. Luke increases the radiation of the radar and fires more radio waves, which causes the machine to break down. Nicholas and Sergey go to take a closer look when a strange twisted breeze of wind surrounds the mountain and begins to take form of a snake-like monster. While the astronauts are still in shock to what is going on, this mysterious snake-like force attacks them. Huge boulders begin to fly everywhere and one hits Renee and instantly kills her. Nicholas and Sergey get pulled in by the snake and their bodies get ripped apart by the force of it. Luke tries to escape and falls down a hole and becomes the only survivor of this mysterious attack. The storm disappears and reveals a mysterious giant face emerging from the grounds. Back at the World Space Station, Woody flirts with his wife Terry when they get reported that there has been a catastrophic power failure at Mars. The World Space Station receives a reading of an intense burst of energy from Mars and concludes that this energy discharge isn't survivable. They even get a blurry message from Luke about the event, but based on their previous analysis, they believe that Luke is also dead. Still, even if there's a small possibility that Luke is alive, the astronauts, including Woody, Terry, Jim, and Phil, want to go to Mars to rescue him. So after some persuasion, the chief of NASA gives them the permission to go to Mars and lets Jim go at Woody's request. The rescue mission begins, and soon after, the crew almost reaches Mars. Phil makes a genetic composition of his ideal woman's DNA using candy, which freaks Jim out, and so he messes up the structure. Woody gets a reading that there's a huge dust storm in Mars surrounding the entire southern hemisphere. Since they will be arriving at Mars the next day, Woody plays Terry's favorite music to dance with her for the last time before landing. Although Jim is happy for them, but this makes him sad as he could have danced with his late wife as well. Woody gets another enhanced scan report of Luke's campsite. They get an enhanced look at it, trying to look for any recent activity, and sees 3 graves of Luke's crewmates near the camp. But it's still a mystery whether Luke is alive or not. Jim realizes that a natural calamity like earthquake didn't cause the catastrophe and believes that it's something well. The chief gives it a go for the rescue team to land on Mars. Before the landing flight, Jim looks at a video of his wife to bring back happy memories. In the video, Maggie says that she believes that there is life outside of Earth. So Jim thinks that there could be some mysterious being that caused the catastrophic event on Mars. Soon after, the crew reaches Mars' outer orbit with great anticipation. Suddenly, something cuts through Phil's hands. They realize that some micrometeoroids have hit and breached into their ship, causing all systems to shut down. Woody shuts down the hole immediately and goes out of the ship to see if there are any other holes outside. Jim goes down to examine which part of the ship has breached. After struggling for a while, Jim uses quick thinking to determine where the hole is, and Woody successfully closes the breach spot. The crew thinks that they have managed to fix the ship, but little do they know, the rocket's engines have been severely damaged as well. When they prepare to start the engines, it explodes. Jim remembers that there is a food stock ship surrounding Mars' orbit and decides to leave the rocket. Following his plan, the 4 members of the crew abandon the ship and wait for the Re-MO to come to them. Woody notices that Re-MO is too far away from them. He unhooks himself from the crew and goes onward to catch Re-MO. But Woody fails to grab a hold of the ship and starts getting sucked down by Mars' gravity. Terry tries to rescue Woody, but they know that they don't have enough fuel to rescue Woody in time. So they decide to first enter Re-MO and then scoop up Woody. Terry, because of her love, goes to save him anyway, even though she realizes that there's no chance of survival. She throws a grappling hook at Woody, but just falls short. Woody doesn't want Terry to die with him in vain, so he opens his helmet and takes his own life. Terry mourns for him while his lifeless body gets sucked in by Mars' gravity. But she has no time to lose, as if she waits any longer, she will die too. So she comes back to the ship. The chief gets a report that the rescue crew's ship has been destroyed and Re-MO is not circling around Mars anymore. He realizes that it was Jim who found a way out and used the ship for the landing. The rescue crew finally lands on Mars, and the first thing they do is raise the American flag. They go to Luke's campsite and enters Luke's ship to see if they can find any anomaly. Jim discovers a successful greenhouse filled with plants and vegetables and finds water there. Luke, looking like an actual caveman, lurks behind him and comes to ambush Jim, thinking Jim's not real and he's having delusions. But Jim assures him that he is here and tells Luke that they are here to rescue him. Luke becomes very emotional and asks where Woody is, but gets the sad news that Woody is no longer alive. Luke tells everyone about a mysterious force that murdered his crew and assumes that he was left alive so that he can figure out the secrets of Mars. But they don't believe Luke's words. Luke decides to just show them. He takes them to the deceased's graves first and then shows them a picture of the face. He thinks that someone put that there, and it's not humans. He then shows them a pattern that he cracked from the eerie noises coming from the face, which shows a model DNA similar to humans but with some missing chromosomes. And he believes that it's the DNA of the species that put the face there. The rescue crew settles down to uncover the mysteries of Mars, when Jim suddenly realizes the DNA test is a test that only humans can pass, as only they know the pattern of their DNA. He explains that the face puts some sort of security code for the missing DNA, and since Luke's crew fired radar and concentrated radio waves at the face, the alarm went off as it was the wrong answer, causing the snake-like force to attack him. Though wonders what would happen if they gave the right answer this time. They decide to find that out. Luke remotely controls the Mars rover, gets it close to his face, and this time sends the signal that would give the right answer to its security question. The rover sends the signal, and a plume of light illuminates the face and opens a small gate. Luke, Jim, and Terry decide to go there, thinking it's an invitation inside, while Phil stays back at the campsite. They enter the face, but the gate shut down as Phil turned on the ship's system. Jim realizes that the atmosphere inside the face is just like Earth's. The group takes their helmets and gloves off when another gate opens for them, implying that they have made the right choice. They enter the gate, and it transitions into the entire solar system. It shows that Mars was once a planet like Earth, but a meteor crash caused it to die. A mysterious being appears out of nowhere and empathizes with Mars, showing that the people of Mars abandoned the planet and escaped to another galaxy. But one ship stayed and decided to head to Earth and create life there. And all that happened hundreds of millions of years ago. With that, the crew uncovers the mystery of life, and a control panel appears in front of them, indicating that the face is also a ship. But since no one can use the ship, Luke and Terry head back to their ship. But Jim stays behind, as he wants to use the ship to look for new worlds. Luke and Terry respect his decision, say their goodbyes, and start heading back to the campsite. They try to contact Phil, but because of the stench, Phil cannot read them. Jim follows the path that the face shows him and enters a ship that slowly starts drowning him underwater. Luke and Terry return to Phil's ship when Jim realizes that he can breathe underwater and takes off with his ship. The face melts down after Jim's ship takes off, and he remembers all his lifelong memories as he leaves his previous life behind and goes on a journey to another world. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, give a like and subscribe for more videos. See you next time.